as expected, news stories regarding Chelsea are popping off all over the gaff since the final.
You ain't so tough with that bad boy tuck. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought.
What's going on, guys, and welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host, Jan. I do hope you're doing well, man. I really do hope that. And welcome back to Chelsea News. Of course, the daily series here on the channel, where I look across footballing news media, see what's been said about Chelsea, giving you my thoughts on it. As always, more importantly, asking for yours. Today, we are speaking about Liam Dilap's medical and Chelsea asking him not to represent the under-21s this summer, so that he can join for the Club World Cup. He really wanted to play in the Under-21s tournament, but Chelsea want a striker for the Club World Cup. Of course, a competition they're taking very, very seriously indeed. Moises Caicedo new contract, Hugo Ekitike, as well as Dilap, an article on Court of Side, and we're going to react to, many of you would have seen it, a Football Transfers article saying that Manchester United are looking at Nicholas Jackson. Yeah. Thanks for joining me. As always, very appreciative of the support here on the channel. If you think you might enjoy more of the content, why not subscribe? If you choose to subscribe, hit the bell. All that nice stuff, mate. Thanks for liking the video. Let's get into it. Alright, so just quickly, let's start off with some nice bits. Moises Caicedo, Fabrizio Romano reporting Chelsea are in talks with a Caicedo New Deal. Of course, Chelsea's player of the season. It's looking like a recurring theme. You join Chelsea on a relatively modest salary, perhaps less so Caicedo and Fernandes, but you win player of the season, you get a pay rise, like Cole Palmer did. I think even Nico Jackson got improved terms. Whilst incomings are important, it's vital Chelsea keep hold of their best players who are inevitably going to be linked with moves away. Caicedo falls into that category, and the Ecuadorian has been absolutely superb this season, writes Charlie Patrick on Chelsea.news, which has seen him start every single Premier League game, and of course he cleared up in the Chelsea Awards, winning Player of the Season and Fans Player of the Season, and he's widely being accepted now as one of the best central defensive midfielders in the world. He just is excellent, and he's mustard. We don't need to spend time waxing lyrical about Caicedo, but we can be pleased that he is going to get improved terms. The mood is good at Chelsea. They're all playing for each other. They've qualified for the Champions League. They've won a tournament together. It's nice vibes for the record youngest team in Premier League history, trending in the right direction. Alright, so we've got the here we go from Fabrizio Romano, Liam Dilap. He will be a Chelsea striker, barring any peculiar stuff. His medical is booked for Monday. Time of recording is the 31st of May on a Saturday, day of the Champions League. Bit of housework and a reminder that I will be reacting to the Champions League final, like I react to all big non-Chelsea stories on the sister channel, which is of course called Football Yannick. Link in description, or just search Football Yannick on YouTube. Liam Dilap, yes, a striker who I like, who we've spoken about at length, so we'll put a pin in that part of the story in just a moment. But Chelsea want him for the Club World Cup, which would make him have to withdraw for England's Under-21s, which is a tournament this summer. Thomas Tuchel, the England manager, referenced players like Dilap and Wharton and why they hadn't been called up to the England first team. And he was like, well, you know, because they've got this opportunity, it's their last opportunity to represent the U21s and play in a tournament. It's exciting. And Tuchel thought it would be, you know, important for the development, and because that was kind of a response to the outcry of, why are you calling up Jordan Henderson and not Adam Wharton? Which I can sympathise with that that point of view. Yeah, I get it. We want to win the Club World Cup. You win a lot of money. Think of the positive optics as on top of all that wicked money in terms of winning another trophy. You know, lifting the Club World Cup after lifting the Conference League and qualifying for the Champions League. It feels kind of nice, isn't it? Just 2 trophies. It's not the Champions League and the Premier League, of course, but the Club World Cup will be coming up against, you know, Real Madrid, Man City, and other great clubs like that. So it would feel good. It looks ruddy nice. I'm sure many of you have seen the Club World Cup trophy. It looks wicked. And they're taking it seriously. They want... if you watch Chelsea this season, you know, as much as you might have high hopes for Jackson, more on him in a moment, it's been a problem. Underperforming XG in terms of finishing, not having that pressure relief valve of like a big striker. And, you know, and it's also just a new shiny toy to bring and tour in America. So I can totally understand from the club, a business perspective, of why you'd want Dilap for the Club World Cup and making him withdraw from the Summer England Under-21 tournament. But also he'll theoretically help you win it, you know? And this isn't just a random guy, you know, striker from Europe who's never played in England, who won't speak English, who doesn't know the manager. This is a guy who operates in the Premier League well. He's played for the Chelsea manager, and the Chelsea manager knows the player well. So I'm not going to say he's expected to immediately hit the ground running, but there's definitely like an advantageous element there, isn't there? He knows the gaffer knows him. He knows teammates. He knows Sancho, Palmer, Lavia probably. I think Lavia got on the phone to him. That's at least what Wes Fofana was suggesting on social media. So he should slot right in. What do you think? Comment down below. Right. We'll end on Nico Jackson to Manchester United. Or at least that story. First of all, let's talk about Hugo Ekitike. This is coming from Court Offside. Chelsea are understood to lead Liverpool in the race for Hugo Ekitike this summer. Both Premier League outfits are in desperate need of an offensive rehaul. I mean, I don't know if both sides are in desperate need for an offensive rehaul. You know, both maybe need a conventional striker, but they both have lots of good forwards. The centre forward in position in particular is key area in this regard. Of course, Nkunku will be going. I think also Darwin Núñez will be leaving Liverpool as well. In which case, one of Europe's most exciting young attackers in Ekitike could represent a wise investment. Liverpool, in fairness, have overcome steep odds quite recently in their battle with German giants Bayern for Florian Wirtz. Yeah, Liverpool making serious moves in the transfer window. The aforementioned second channel, I've been reacting to that. More to the point, it seems the Reds won't balk at Eintracht Frankfurt's reported €100 million, which is, of course, £84 million price tag. And that's despite being prepared to fork out in excess for over $100 million for Wirtz. But for the time being, Christian Falk, who of course is head of football at Sport Bild over in Germany, reports that Chelsea are in talks to sign Ekitike and are firmly in the league. In the league? Firmly in the league? In the lead, for that matter. We are leading Liverpool for the signing of Hugo Ekitike. Chelsea, Liverpool and Arsenal were previously considered to be the top favourites for Hugo Ekitike, but the three-man competition has now turned into a two-club battle. That's probably because Arsenal, again, another story on the second channel I've reacted to, looks like they might get their man in Benjamin Sesko. Of course, the young striker we were looking at, but Mikel Arteta has long really wanted. At the moment, Chelsea, who qualified for the Champions League in fourth place, hold the best cards for Ekitike in the Ekitike poker, writes Christian Falk. Chelsea are already in dialogue with the player side and could soon get serious. Ooh, we might soon get serious. But Liverpool are also still in the race, despite upcoming transfer of Florian Wirtz, who's a great player. And of course, they're looking at revamping the fullbacks in Frimpong. They got for like 30 million, which is a great deal. And Kirkes for 45, which is probably about par. Excuse me, I've got crazy hay fever today. Frimpong, Kirkes for 45 sort of feels about right. I don't by any means feel like they're getting ripped off there. He's been a really high performing fullback in the Prem this season, and Frimpong's great, we all know. So they're doing revamps, they're spending lots of money, even if they've got the money, because we're reminded by Liverpool fans, not only they've just won the Premier League, earned cash for that, but they didn't make any signings last season. I think they signed, what's-his-face, Chiesa, for not that much money. So, yeah. I think Mamardashvili is arriving as well, the goalkeeper. But yeah, Liverpool do have the money, man. So let's talk about this. Yeah, I like Hugo Ekitike, actually. I do worry, and yes, guys, yes, Yes, like you, it's a Bundesliga forward that's played in, a transitional league like Werner, like Havertz, like Nkunku. I understand the fears. He's got great numbers. He is exciting. He's journalists have profiled him and wrote about all the exciting elements and aspects to his game, which are all there. It's true. He is similar to Jackson in some ways, which actually Maresca will like. But what makes me feel okay about this, and dare I say good, is he's very different to Liam Dilap. And you will have those two options. And two options that Maresca wants, can work with, and likes. Dilap will, and I don't mean this in a negative way, because it's not, especially as a Chelsea fan, what we've enjoyed in our players of old. He will bully the opposition, Dilap. He will beat them up. He will run. He will get yardage, to use that American phrase. He will, take the ball, drag it up the pitch by himself in times of when, Chelsea are under pressure. He'll score goals. He'll be a very physical presence. Maybe Hugo Ekitike won't be as a physical presence, but he is an excellent runner of the channels, finisher, and we've looked at his stats before, and should this story gain even more legs, we will look at it again. The only thing is money. I'm not saying Chelsea don't have money. Of course, Dilap for 30 million quid is a great deal. Man United were doing everything they could to sign Dilap for 30 quid. 30 quid? 30 million quid. Who they themselves are, broke to a degree. But Juventus, one of them, Milan, one of them, Newcastle United, one of them, who of course are Champions League, very good team themselves. But no, Chelsea managed to convince Dilap to come to Chelsea. 30 million, great value. We'll be selling the likes of Nkunku. Just because I don't want to induce trauma, we'll talk about Sterling another day in another video. But Nkunku will go. Chelsea have a massive portfolio of sellable assets. They'll generate revenue. They got the Champions League money, and of course they could earn a lot of money from the Club World Cup. So the money's there. And Ekitike is a young player. They'll put on a long contract like Dilap. Of course, we all got excited about Gyökeres and Osimhen, who are more Gyökeres because we don't know where he's going. But when there are stories and headlines linking said players to Chelsea, I react here on the channel to them. That's, I'm not a source, never claimed to be, never will have any. Anytime someone tells me something, I'm never going to report it as news because I'm not going to put myself in that position. But Hugo Ekitike, 84 million quid. I will repeat what I said recently. I'm not opposed to it being an 84 million pound package. So similar to Mudryk, who was an 88 million pound package, which is too much. But he's a centre forward, Ekitike. He's much coveted. So let's say 84 million. If we could do a 64 million or a 62 million like Mudryk, as a base fee in 3 installments, say 20 million a year for the first 3 years, and then those to get up to over 80, he'll have to score a bunch of goals. Chelsea will have to win the Premier League. Chelsea will have to get to a Champions League final with him, something like that. Then I can see it work, and then suddenly, actually, the balance between a Dilap and Ekitike, and then a Mark Gu on loan at Ipswich or whatever, or a Shin Moeka developing, and these kind of available players in the background, could put us in a good position. And what it boils down to is Chelsea's options being Hugo and Liam. 2 mates, very different, very young, very good and very balanced. And of course, you want an Osimhen, just like this undisputed starter above all of the children who would score goals. But if it's not feasible due to crazy wage demands, and if he ends up in Saudi Arabia, then it is what it is, right? Right, speaking of Chelsea strikers, there's a story yesterday here, you probably have seen it, on football transfers. It's an exclusive, apparently, from this chap, Steve K, in his baseball cap. Man United target a move for Chelsea forward Nico Jackson, who is currently being estimated value at over 66 million euros. I think we bought him for 33 million euros, which is 29 million pounds-ish. Either way, doubling our money should we sell Nico Jackson. Manchester United have expressed their interest in completing a surprise, yeah, it would be, mate, if there's any truth in this, summer move for Chelsea striker Nicolas Jackson. Football transfers has been told. Amorim is eager to bolster his first team squad with an addition of a new centre forward during the upcoming transfer window. And Jackson has been identified as an alternative option to the likes of Osimhen and Gyökeres. Yeah. But they really wanted to do that. They went all in for him. They did a lot of work, apparently, for him. And he's obviously coming to Chelsea, he is. Jason Wilcox is playing a key role in reshaping Man United's recruitment model. And he's identified Nicolas Jackson as a suitable foil for Matheus Cunha. Which might be true. We have been told that Wilcox is keen to bring in an athletic centre forward who is capable of stretching defences, and Jackson is viewed as a potential option by the Manchester United hierarchy. However, Chelsea are reluctant to negotiate a sale, as things stand. Jackson's current contract runs to 2033. Of course, he gave him a new deal last year on improved terms. Let's talk about this. Jackson, I like Jackson. I think I always will keep my position on Nicolas Jackson. I think he was an excellent signing, an excellent value signing, and should he be sold, we'll be doubling our money minimum on him because of his profile. I know he was injured recently, but his availability is great. He presses all game. He always makes runs. He's got that kind of attitude where he wants to score. He consistently underperforms his XG, which is a massive flaw and needs to be better. But of course, football scouts, analysts, coaches will tell you he's getting in those XG positions, which is a positive sign. Whereas you might get, the Rasmus Højlund, who's not even getting into goal-scoring chances. And then there's rare times he does when he misses. It's even higher profile. Jackson's the first striker for Chelsea to get into double figures for Premier League goals since Diego Costa, I believe, centre forward. I don't think Tammy did it. I know Tammy got 15 non-penalty goals in his first season, but I think Giroud came in a little bit more the second season. Anyway, I totally understand why Man United will be looking at Nico. They've looked at a guy who's consistently performed at a good-ish level over 2 years. We've seen Ben Jacobs talk on, I think, the United Stand YouTube channel that Ineos want to emulate Chelsea with the young players, with the better long-term investments. Nico Jackson is still a young player with a long Premier League future in front of him, should he want to remain in this league, and he's performed over 2 seasons in a way where people who analyse football can say, yeah, there's something there, There's something there. He won't be on insane wages. They'll definitely match his current Chelsea package at Man United comfortably and be like, this is a much more sensible wage packet than what we've been paying the Casemiros and other people in the squad. So I could see Man United wanting him. I can see why Chelsea don't want to sell him. I quite like the idea of going into next season with Hugo, Dilap and Jackson. I've said it before, Chelsea have historically had 3 high-profile, these aren't high-profile players, but 3 proper strikers before. Why not now in the Champions League? After a Club World Cup season, where one of your strikers and Nico will be going to AFCON as well. Will all be taken into consideration. Transition, please. There we go. Right, guys, let me know your thoughts. Please do leave them in the comment section below. It's been a great month. Things are really going to pick up now on the channel, so make sure you hit the bell when you subscribe over this transfer period. It's going to be crazy, so do keep it locked. Take care of yourselves. Enjoy the football. Peace.